Hi everyone, I'm Indrajit. The JIT stands for just in time because I wrote the code last night and built the presentation this morning. Um, I also put a photo of me from PyCon 2022 just to show you that Python is a big part of my life. Beyond Python, there's 4 C's that describe me, 2 of which we will talk about today, chess and computers. And then the other 2 are Chennai, which is a coastal city in south of India in Tamil Nadu, where I'm from, and Chelsea, which is a football club from London that I support. That was just random information your way. So we're here to talk about chess. Show of hands, who here has played chess? Awesome, that's more than 90% of the crowd. So then, would you want to chat with your chess engine? I guess that's the question. But first, let's ask the question of, would you even want to do that? Why would you want to do that? There's some memes in my presentation. If they land, they land. But effectively, chess engines are all about cold calculation. They look through thousands, if not tens of thousands of variations, and then they just tell you, hey, here's your best move, and here's the line. That doesn't mean much for us, because humans don't really think in those terms. And Stockfish is just going to tell you that, and that's usually my reaction when I see the line. I'm like, why is this the best move? Why is this the right line to play? I don't get it. And chess is a game with a steep learning curve as it is. There's a lot to learn for a beginner, and engines do not make it fun to kind of learn, and they're not really a great coach. If you're a chess beginner, definitely get a chess coach. And I think the problem is that we kind of speak different languages, right? Engines operate on cold, concrete calculation. They play out long variations. They kind of check every move that they can to like insane depths of 40, 50 down the tree. And then they just give you the line that they think is best at the end of that process. And it takes them like milliseconds, if not less time to do this. But that's not how we analyze the position. We analyze in terms of more intuitive things like king safety. Is my king kind of tucked in safe? Is it easily attacked? We think in terms of control over the center. How many of my pieces can kind of attack or capture in the center? We think in terms of positional imbalances, like maybe I have a strong center, but my king side or queen side is weak. And there's also other concepts like piece development, which is how many of my pieces are active, or activity of pieces. Like I might have a piece that's developed, but it's kind of blocked behind my pawns, so what's the point? So we're really talking 2 different languages, and this is where I think LLMs can really bridge the gap, because they're sort of like wolf in sheep's clothing. They're computers pretending to be machines, and they're kind of fluent in our languages, but yeah, it's like an interesting place for chess understanding. And the first thought is, well, would they work out of the box? Like, do we even need chess engines? Because these are large language models that have trained on, well, all the internet there is, which probably includes all the chess books ever written. So maybe they're already good at chess. Well, as it turns out, they're pretty terrible at it. For context, my ELO is 1500. I'm a very average chess player. Those are terrible stats to put up. And the reason is, well, I guess they're just not designed to play chess, and often they're hallucinating moves, they're forgetting the pieces that they have, or making up pieces that don't exist. There was once a chess board without a king, and they still suggested the best move for me. I was quite confused. So they just straight up make things up as they are convenient. So quiz time. Let's look at this position. Feel free to tell me, so it's white to move. What do we feel is like a good move in this position for white? Like, what might be a good candidate move?
E4, E5.
E4, E5. That is a good move indeed. Okay, well, let's see what LLMs think about this position. Yeah, I've put this position to ChatGPT 5, the best, the greatest, the model there is today on paper. ChatGPT suggested A3. And so A3 is basically pushing the pawn over there, up. And it gave me a very long explanation for why A3 is a great move. I asked Gemini the same question, and Gemini suggested I play F takes G7. I will remind you that this is not a possible move. I have nothing on the F file that can take on G7. So I said, hey, are you sure? And Gemini was like, oh, yeah, no, that's an illegal move. How about A3 instead? So both LLMs want to play A3. And this is 2.5 Pro. So then I asked our good friend Stockfish, and so the thing to note is, this is one of my games. I played this game, and I played A3, which happens to be a blunder. Like, it's a pretty bad move. But this analysis doesn't tell you why it's bad, and nor does it tell us why bishop B1 is the best move here by a long margin. Like, none of that is clear. So let's talk to our good friend Stockfish now. Instead of looking at it, let's chat with it. So this is the live demo part of the demo. Fingers crossed this goes well. So I built this custom GPT. It's powered by Stockfish, and like just the Stockfish binary running on my laptop, wrapped around in a web service, and then just like some custom OpenAPI spec YAML to make this chatbot work. What it does is it gives ChatGPT capabilities to basically run an evaluation or an engine analysis and then use that output to make up the moves rather than just making up illegal moves, or at least to explain the moves. So let's start by pulling my recent games from Leeches. So this is connected to my Leeches account, and I'm going to give it my username. It should pull my last 5 games. This is pretty easy. Leeches has an amazing API, fairly simple to do. The game in question is the first game, so I'm just going to say, let's go with game 1. So now it's connecting to the backend service I'm running, and it says, hey, here are the 5 critical positions in this game, positions where you had a huge swing in the evaluation. You either made a terrible move or you missed a great move and you played an average move, because of which there was a big swing. And clearly the first position is the one that we were looking at. So now I'm going to ask ChatGPT or Chatmate, which is the bot I've built on top, why is this move a blunder, or why is A3 a blunder? Explain the line and tell me what the best move here is. So this is again making a call to Stockfish, which is going to put this board up and run a quick analysis and say exactly what the top lines are. And this is the same ChatGPT 5 now saying A3 is a blunder, and then explaining it, which is a pretty good explanation. Like, it says, hey, after A3, the black knight can take your bishop on C2, and then you will take back with your rook, and suddenly you've weakened a bunch of central pawns, you've lost initiative. So white goes from being better to more or less being equal with black in this position. But I don't think this itself is like, this is pretty neat. This is a lot better than what we heard before. It also says why bishop b1 is a good move. It says, you put your bishop back to safety, you keep the pressure, and then you can play a3 the next move. That way you get both what you wanted, kick back the knight, but keep your bishop. Pretty solid. This is good, but I think the big question I have usually is, well, what if I did this instead? Whenever I'm looking at Stockfish, I'm like, sure, but what if I played something else? So I'm going to try to do this with my voice. What if I ignore the threat to the bishop and launch my own attack with knight h4? Analyze that position. Okay. Okay, not bad. So let's send that in. So I'm saying here, that's all well and good, but what if I played something else? What does it look like then? And I think here's where there's a lot of value. Now, it can play that move, 1 or 2 moves down, maybe even like 3 to 4 moves down in that line. And now you see this position on the board where this is the move I said. Like, I'm going to ignore the threat on my bishop. I'm going to put my knight on h4 and attack the black bishop there. And here's the engine evaluation and explanation. So it says, hey, that's not a terrible idea. It's not a blunder, but it does still lose the initiative. And here's why. You're attacking, but you're just a little slow. Like it makes sense, but it's still going to kind of lead to an equalish position. So this type of stuff, this type of back and forth, I think can really be game-changing for learning chess. And it is possible because GPT now has sort of concrete engine lines to look through and analyze. So I want to show you a little bit about how this was built. And there's really not much to it. All of this code is online. So this is the analyze position. It just takes a position in FEN notation and runs Stockfish on it. And then there's just play moves, which is a way for Stockfish to kind of play the moves you suggested, or a way for this to play the moves you suggest and then kind of rerun the evaluation. So that's basically the 2 interactions you saw me do. And this is the API spec, just a big YAML telling GPT, here's all the things, here's how you should use them. And it just requires like 5 steps to run this on your end as well. So yeah, I have the code up on the right, and that's my contact info on the left. I'll pause here for any questions. We have about a minute and a half.
Yeah, any questions? Thank you so much. Marito?
Oh, there's one there
Yeah.
in the back.
Does this work? Okay, yeah, I was curious. This is really cool, by the way. And I've done a lot of stuff on chess and neural models, so it's like really nice. I was curious if you had done anything, or if you even can integrate it with ChatGPT, where Stockfish uses neural representations, like in the engine.
Yeah.
You extract those as like.
Yeah, like if you could build something to translate what the NNUE is thinking, that would be great.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I think even like chess grandmasters don't understand how these neural networks play. Yeah, I haven't looked into it, but that would be fantastic.
Yeah, and like with human-like ones, like Maya. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that would be some cutting-edge work. I think chess.com should spend some money on that. All right.
I do operations research work where we frequently create discrete event simulations. So we're running, the same scenario, right? Let's pretend it's like a hospital layout, right? And you're running through various possibilities of patient inflow and that sort of thing. The real problem comes when we have sort of the work policy that the business user has to input in order to say, okay, we treat this person before this person according to these rules. And having a tool like this where they can talk through the different scenarios would be amazing.
I'll come talk to you. I might be
thank
over
you.
time, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.